Bali is known globally as the Island of the Gods. It stands out amongst the tropical Indonesian archipelago as a rich cultural and social gem. But over the years, its popularity has brought a range of unwanted social and environmental impacts. Like many other cities affected by mass tourism, the ecosystems and cultural richness of the island are under threat. The island was closed to international travel during the pandemic. And now, as the island is opening back up, a renewed energy to build back better and the possibility of a regenerative approach to tourism and development is emerging. The Fab Island Challenge was created together with local and global innovation communities to propose meaningful interventions that enrich, empower, and scale Bali's emerging regenerative economy. Teams from around the world were invited to focus and learn about a specific local initiative, propose and prototype design outputs to win seed funding for its implementation. It all took place as part of the Bali Fab Fest, the annual meeting of the global Fab Lab and Fab City communities.
So it's really important for Bali to think about the future model of tourism, right? To welcome people that is not only coming to just do Instagram and just sit down in a resort, but also welcoming talents and knowledge from scientists and technologists to share it with the local wisdom and the local capacity and crafts to solve the problems of Bali. This is a space that we have created for the best talents, national and international, to come together and see how technology, how science, how local wisdom can help to address a lot of the problems that we're facing today, and also to help the development of new economies.
We expanded slightly the format that we had prior to this, which was meeting for the Fab City Summit. And we connected with our global community, the Fab Lab Network. We connected here with the Meaningful Design Group and Cast Foundation to create something that was bigger and celebrated the need for this connection. Part of that is the Fab Island Challenge, which brings innovators here to work on real solutions to real problems.
Over 10 days, 10 teams traveled across the island, building local and global connections around the common goals of community, regeneration, and meaningful impact, co-designing solutions.
Copernic is primarily working with the smallholding farmers, often dealing with plots that are under a hectare, under an acre or around that size. And they face a number of issues from grading their beans and produce to dealing with weeds and pests. So we are trying to see if we can come up with some kind of device or intervention that works with, to help them remove these pests and weeds, as well as grade and sort their beans, and sort of automate the entire process if possible, using low-cost tools.
We're going to have these tools of Mani Prakash, which are these foldscopes and planktoscopes, which are $1 microscopes and really easy to use, and it's very low tech. And we want to bring these to communities like the fishermen communities who might not have access to microscopes, and this will allow them to access an understanding and identify maybe the problems that have maybe in their seas, in their fish, maybe identify these the bad bacteria to the good bacteria. So we want to there's also an educational purpose to bring these low-tech tools to these communities.
Bamboo U is facing a lot of problem with the joinery, how they can join 2 to 3 bamboos together. On our field visit, we experienced this ourselves, how problematic it was. For every joint you need a carpenter, otherwise it's very difficult for a layman or anybody just entering and who are part of their courses to learn it and be able to do it. So we are here to help them come up with new solutions so they can their courses can be more efficient and their projects can be much more efficient and quicker.
The effect of digitalization in our everyday life, in finance, in education, or in health, is actually enormous. Many people that were excluded from getting those services can now be included. So inclusion is a major aspect that we need to look at when we talk about digitalization.
We are talking here about the revolution of citizens, the people that have the power to connect, to collaborate, and to create a change in the different scales that they want. So here in Bali we have all the ingredients for this cycling thinking or cycling model of new manufacturing that are connecting nature, social knowledge, the opportunities to make a scalable model of self-sufficient systems.
I think so. It's a really nice initiative and a really nice way to discuss, also learn and share with other ones. So since when we are, let's say, young and child, so we like to play around with the hands and learning by doing, let's say. So when we have to collaborate with other ones, especially people that we never see before, hands-on experiences, it's really convenient for that. So a challenge based on this kind of methodologies, it's, I think so, really into the point. Especially if we are talking about maker movement, Fab Lab movement, if we're gonna implement solutions and prototype that solutions, I think so that's the way to go. So I really like the way it's approached it, and I think so can benefit a lot.
Digital fabrication promises anyone can make almost anything. And the technology is running through a roadmap. The first generation of Fab Labs were digital fabrication machines with a global supply chain to support them. We're transitioning now to a second generation of Fab Labs making Fab Labs, rapid prototyping of rapid prototyping. And the goal isn't to make the existing machines, but to make them faster, better, cheaper in ways that are locally responsive and you can customize. And further out in that research roadmap is there's still a global supply chain for the inputs, is transitioning to assemblers and then self-assemblers still further out.
For the solution, we came up with these fabricated joints that were 3D printed. So instead of carving the bamboo, you could actually attach an additional piece to it that could act as the connecting point for the bamboo instead of damaging the bamboo by carving it and drilling it. And then another was to make 3D printed jigs to help you guide the process, like help you guide, carve and mark the shape of the kind of joint that you'd want to do. So it was both, like two different kind of solutions that we came up with.
What we make is we made a system of modular pod which contain an electrolysis machine which can produce hydrogen gas from water using solar power generated electricity as the main changing agent.
So we designed a recycled plastic solution to utilise the plastic material being collected at the plastic exchange. Unfortunately, the quality of the plastic that we were able to source through that conduit wasn't suitable to be reworked into a product. So there were some learnings there about the process of not just collection, but then how to clean and sort and then actually be able to make products out of the materials that they're collecting.
farmers community here in Bali, in a remote area within the island of Bali in Indonesia. And they are coffee and cacao farmers, and we are supporting them to improve their farming practices through sustainable agriculture, bringing better processes for post-harvest, organic farming, and also connection to market.
So we hope that the Bali Fab Fest and the Bali Fab Island Challenge helps people to embody and experience ways to collaborate that we can bring back and support and get investors and governments and companies to support, because this is really the way to produce the world we want, right? Like the way in which we can really help people to deal with very difficult issues that they cannot be solved somewhere in some laboratory in a great university in the world, but it actually needs to be addressed while you get in touch with the communities, while you are in the places, and also supported by some scientific and technological knowledge. So we believe that this becomes a template of an open innovation ecosystem in Bali and the rest of Indonesia to start with. We believe also like the archipelago of Indonesia is a great template, or a great space to prototype distributed models of production. So we hope that Indonesia becomes the prototype of the Fab City model that we can test, in some islands of Indonesia, create the layers of a full stack and then connect them and see how a distributed network of production works at a national scale, and then scale it up to the planet and bring the entire Fab City network to collaborate with that. No? So yeah, I believe that to finalize with, I believe also like the Fab Island Challenge will keep evolving, and then probably next year we're gonna see the Fab Kingdom Challenge or the Fab Mountain Challenge that will happen in Bhutan. And then we go to other places and we keep running these challenges, and it's our intention to support it and to help it grow it from Fab City for sure. And we hope that out of the Fab Island Challenge, we're going to have projects that will be accelerated, first of all, so we can really help them to move really fast, and they, in trying to implement some of our knowledge into their needs, let's say our knowledge from the global network. And we also hope that this starts new collaboration opportunities, right? Which is, again, like a part of a permanent things that I hope continues happening, after the legacy of the Bali Fab Fest.
So we have 120 creatives from 33 countries. This has been a crazy experiment, but somehow it worked. Key impacts here. One is for the global community. People have come together over 10 days and really created connections for life. These professional and also personal connections, both together in their teams and also with the people they've been working with. That's number one, really creating meaningful connections through creativity and design. The second one is that they've created incredible solutions that will actually make impact in communities in Bali. So we have real-world social and environmental impact that was created by this global network.
Bali there's tremendous natural resources here. And so given the vision of thinking globally, fabricating locally, some of the skills and insights, we don't need new technology for. It's really returning to traditional practices here. But then there's a range of connections between traditional practices and advanced materials and digital technology. And so it's a rich place to look at that boundary between traditional practice and global digital fabrication.
For us as well, as an ecosystem, is really interesting and curious to see how they interpret our technology and our knowledge and our expertise. Because they, of course, they learn from us, from our knowledge, but then, of course, they have their own understanding, their own take, their own cultural angle to it, which brings a whole new level of innovation, within the network and the ecosystem. So you see some, Bali-specific and Indonesia-specific techniques, patterns, aesthetics, which add incredibly to the whole network.
So everyone is doing something together with people they've never met before, and it's just the sense of collaboration. Everyone jumps in and tries to solve a challenge that they can relate to or not relate to, but everyone brings something to the table, and that creates a kind of magic, and that magic is in the air everywhere.